Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the man cave, a little section of the basement down here where I listen to music mostly and just think about life. And speaking of life, let's talk about that a little bit. Specifically, how long will you live? Well, I don't have a crystal ball, but my guess is that you will live longer than you think you will. And that's an important thing to consider if we're concerned about doing all we can to extend our life and to improve the quality of our life while we're alive. So let's talk about that a little bit within the context of what we can do to make sure that we not only get lots of years to our life, but life in our years. But let's talk about life expectancy. Most of us really don't think we're going to live as long as we ultimately end up living. And I think that's because us as humans, we're just not wired to think long term. Our whole focus is on what's happening next. Short term, immediate thing that's happening next, or whatever's spinning around in our head. That's what we focus on. So it's really hard to think about 5 years, 20 years, 30, 40, 60 years into the future or more. And I can attest to this from my own personal experience in financial planning for the last 20 plus years. I spend a lot of time with my clients helping them make some assessments and see where they are at when it comes to making sure that their money will last as long as they do. And most people far underestimate the amount of life that they have left in them. I use, for financial planning purposes, a life expectancy of 95 years. Many people look at that and say, Mark, what the heck? I never had anybody in my family live past 80. And I say, that may be true, but do you know when you are going to leave this earth? So far, nobody's told me they do. And because of that, we want to make sure that we are giving a reasonable expectation of how long we're going to live, so I can help the client plan accordingly to make sure that their money lasts at least as long as they do. So how long do people typically live? Well, right now, if somebody is born today in 2021, the average life expectancy for that person will be 79.1 years. That's kind of an average between males and females that are born in this year, 2021. Okay, so that's a lot less than 95, right? You are correct. But what about if you are already 65 in 2021? What if you have lived 65 years on this earth? How much longer will you live? Most people would say, well, it says if I was born in 2021, I'm going to live to 79 years. I'm 65 right now. 79 minus 65 is 14 years. I'm going to live 14 more years. Well, that would be true if you were born today, but since you've already been walking this earth for 65 years, the odds are that you're going to live quite a bit longer than age 79. Right now, the statistic is for somebody who makes it to age 65, they can expect on average, if they're a female, to live to almost 86 years old, and if they're a male, to live to about 83 years old. That's a lot more than 79. Why is that? Well, think about it. If you've made it to age 65, you've already gone past or made it past a lot of potentially bad things that could have happened to you between birth and age 65. So think of it as getting credit for living through all that stupid stuff we did when we were in our 20s and 30s and even 40s. I know I did a lot of stupid things back in the day, and here I am, living and breathing and talking about it. So the odds are that we are going to live a little bit longer than we think we are. And what's even more interesting is if you make it to 65 as a couple, in other words, if you have a spouse or a partner and you both make it to age 65, the odds are better than 50-50 that at least one of you is going to live into your 90s. That's a long time, and that's why we need to take a long-term view with our lives, with our money, with our fitness, and that's the focus of this channel, is helping us do what we can to improve the quality of our life and hopefully live a little bit longer and a little bit better. So when we're thinking about things that we can do today or in the future to improve the quality of our life, we really need to be thinking about how long we could potentially live. I don't know about you, but I know for me, being 56 at this point, my plan is I'm going to live well into my 80s. I'm planning my own personal lifespan to be 100. Who knows? I had a grandmother and an aunt that passed in their mid to late 70s. I've had another grandmother that made it to 105. So who knows? Somewhere in the middle, but what I do know is that I want to be in the best shape possible if I get to that point. And that's why we need to be focusing on all these things that we're talking about here. Aerobic conditioning, physical health, strength, flexibility, brain health, all of that comes into play, especially if we are looking to live longer rather than shorter. And the bottom line is, we don't know how long we have left on this earth. I could walk out of here, go up my steps, walk out into the street and get, smacked, knocked over by the proverbial bus, end of mark, have a nice party, celebrate my life, and move on. Or I could walk out of this basement, miss getting hit by that bus because I'm flexible and quick and I've worked on my speed and agility, dodge out of the way of that bus, and live another 45 years. Who knows? So I would rather be prepared to live a long time and be healthy for all that time that I am alive. And I would suggest that all of us need to take that into consideration when we're taking a look at what we're doing currently and what we can do in the future to improve the quality of our lives. So just something to think about from the standpoint of just life in general, but really as it relates to the whole reason why we do the things we do to hopefully improve the quality of our life. It's not just for today or tomorrow or next month or 5 years from now. What we're really doing, we're laying the foundation today to have a healthier and happier and better life decades down the road. So something to think about, and that's what I'm going to be focusing here on Life Maximus on this channel, is on doing those things that we can do to get the most out of life today, as well as help prepare us for when we're 80 or 90 or beyond. So if you like what you're seeing and you want to participate, there's a couple things you can do. One, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down there, join the community, and hit that thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up, give us a like. That really helps this channel get out to more and more people. Share it with your friends and comment down below this video. And what I'd like you to comment on today is let me know who was the longest lived person in your immediate family. I don't know, many of us have people in our lives that have lived a lot longer than we think people normally live. So I'd be really interested to see what you all say as far as longest lived member of your family. In my case, it was my grandmother, who lived to 105 and a half. So we shall see. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Be well.